Welcome everyone. I'm Alexander Mihalcea, and today we have one of the industry leaders, Benoit Moulin, co-founder of Domos. Welcome, Benoit. How are you doing today?
Very good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm excited to have you on the podcast today, and I'm sure you're going to be of great value for the audience. But before we dive in, could you give us a quick overview of what Domos FS does?
Yes, sure. So Domos FS is a software company. We develop a software dedicated to answer the challenges of the AFM directive. The AFM directive being a directive published by the European Union back in 2014 with the aim to protect more investor when it comes to investing into alternative markets, and we are focused, especially at Domos, on private markets. So private equity, real estate, debt, infrastructure, on these kind of funds.
Okay, that's really interesting. And what inspired to create Domos? Was there a specific moment or experience that sparked this journey?
So yes, so the fact that this directive was entering into force, so that was the big momentum. My co-founder and the CEO of Domos, Arnaud Vinciguerra, used to be the founder of Sophis, and he sold his venture back in 2012. So for him, it was already a momentum to create something new. And personally, I used to work with PwC at that time, where I was advising clients on on the impacts of this upcoming directive. And so I could see that there was a technology gap. By chance, I met with Arnaud, and that's where the magic happened, I would say. I offered him a business plan and to take the baby to the market, and that's how we went to market back in 2014.
Okay, that's really fascinating. And what was your background before starting this venture?
So I've always been into entrepreneurship, I would say. I ended my studies with a a master thesis that I wrote around a personal project, well, a business plan around launching a microfinance firm. Then I happened to work in different areas into consulting, especially. I created then two firms, one in consulting and one in linked to reforestation, microfinance, carbon credits. And one of these two firms was bought out by PwC. So that's how I joined this
Yeah,
big firm. And after 2 years and a half there, I was like looking at a new challenge and
right,
potentially doing something new. So I would say that entrepreneurship is really in my blood.
right, 100%. Also, could you tell us about your journey from discovering Domos as a prototype to taking to market?
Yes, definitely. So the first prototype of Domos was issuing first report, the AFMD Annex 4 report. So that was what we brought to the market first. So it was live once the first client was live, and I think that's something that matches my previous experiences. That is an advice I would give to any new entrepreneur: sell what you have, and then adapt it to the requirements you will have from the market, but sell it as soon as you can. So typically, Domos was created in February 2013, and we took the baby to the market in 2014 already. We signed
Yeah.
our first contract in 2014. Then we hired one of the third co-founder here in Luxembourg to really implement the solution at our first clients. And from that, we could make it grow and evolve, and coming from just into brackets, from just a regulatory reporting solution to a fully integrated portfolio management solution dedicated to private markets.
Okay, I see. Now, let's go back to when you first started. So, what major challenges or gaps did you see in the market that made you think this needs to be solved?
Yes, so as I mentioned, there was this technology gap. There was also something. So at that time, there were a few players. I would call them legacy players with technology that was developed back in the late 90s, early 2000. When we launched in 2013, as of today in 2025, you can think, okay, that's already
Yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah.
ago. But we developed a native SaaS solution with the aim to also embrace like open source tools that can be easily replaced. So typically, we already replaced some core engines of the solution, and that was totally transparent to our clients. That's thanks to the use of new technology. So that was, I would say, the first thing. The second thing is the market timing. Market timing was the arrival of this directive that was pushing all the market players to think, okay, how do I embrace that? And do I need to review my technology stack? So we see a lot of players that are the main product that we replace is Excel.
Yeah.
And we still see, as of today, a lot of players that are running on Excel. So there is still a big potential on the market, but that was the two main opportunities, I would say.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. And for example, what inspired you to tackle the challenges in the alternative investment fund sector post-Madoff?
So, well, there was this this momentum. So this directive arrived after the Madoff case, where there was this Ponzi scheme and a lot of investors were screwed. Then the financial crisis. And for me, like the private markets has always been quite appealing, compared to public markets where you invest into stocks, into listed companies
Yeah,
that, yes, have a big impact, but they are driven as big organization. It's almost like a state within the state. While when you go to more like private markets, you have different types of financial
right,
instruments. So you always discover something new. The financial guys are very creative. So you always have to adapt. And you are working with smaller organizations as well, where the decision making is more straightforward, even though it still takes time to
right, right.
decision to embrace technology, but still, and you have direct interactions directly with the C level, which for me is very interesting.
Okay,
And maybe one last thing about that is also like really financing the real economy, So all and especially when it comes to Europe, you have a lot of small and medium enterprises globally that needs financing, and that's where you play. So, you learn from another side of the industry.
right, 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 right. And how has Domos evolved from addressing regulatory challenges to becoming an integrated portfolio management solution?
So we first started with a partnership with my former employer, PwC. So that allowed us to accelerate the roadmap and to develop all the portfolio valuation and risk features. And also partnering with a big name, was a good stamp to go to market and to address already bigger players and to build confidence. Then our clients started to say, okay, that's great. We have all the portfolio. We do our regulatory reporting. What about the investor side? So it was already again driven by another regulatory report, the CRS and FATCA, which is a tax report. And then we developed all the investors operations. So an investor in our world is called a limited partner or LP. So basically, we allow our clients to manage all the LP's operations in the system. And then based on that, we saw that it was a pity to generate different kind of reports and send them by email. So we developed an investor portal that we saw as a fund, that we really thought as a fundraising tool. So the
Yeah,
idea is really to offer the client of our clients. So basically,
yeah, yeah.
the end of the value chain, a great tool that will allow them to have a great experience, so that basically they are more willing to invest with our client than with other potential firms that wouldn't be using our solution because they find there are some benefits. So we really want to bring value all over the value chain, and that has been done through different use cases. So maybe I can just explain about one use case where
Yep.
we started really with regulatory reporting, and we offered that as a managed service. Then the client decided to re-insource this part and saw the potential in the solution to basically streamline and automate their different operations. So they started with the asset side, and we connected. So it was a debt infrastructure fund. We connected to their banks to offer them a fully integrated loan management solution, and then they started to onboard their investors directly on the platform as well. Today, Domos is being used by this firm as really their centralized platform to manage all their assets, all their investments, from really structuring an investment to performing risk management, and then issuing and publishing directly investor reporting and dashboarding through our investor portal.
Okay, okay, that's really fascinating. So, walk us through how Domos addresses these challenges. What makes your approach unique?
So I mentioned the technology. This is something that we always see behind the scene that is not really obvious, but that makes a big difference. That allows us to be super flexible. We also have developed a particular client approach. We don't see client as clients, on just us as supplier, but we really want to build a trusted business relationship.
Yeah.
So I always meet people in a partnership behavior. I want to create link from the first day I meet with my future business partner to the fact that we enter in a really commercial relationship. And once they are live on the platform, we pursue this relationship by having quarterly service review, ensuring that we are proactive and not reactive in the way we manage the relationship, so that basically we anticipate on any challenge and we solve any potential issues before they may arise. So that's really, I think, also a second differentiator. The third one is, I think we are the only new platform, fully integrated platform, where we see a lot of specialists, but being really a native SaaS solution is really what also differentiates us this way.
Okay, okay. And for example, when you talk to potential clients, what's the biggest misconception they typically have about what you do?
Well, when we talk to clients, the misconception you say?
Yeah.
The hardest part has been to move from being seen as just a regulatory reporting player to becoming a true financial platform. And still in the mind of the of many people or many close friends in the industry, we are really a regulatory reporting platform before being the rest.
Yeah.
And so, this switch of mindset is something that is a challenge. We didn't invest so much into marketing. We have been investing a lot into the product. That's something that puts us really in a strong position. But we see here the difficulty when it comes to that. Yeah.
Okay, okay, interesting. And also, could you share a specific success story of a client who saw significant results using your solution?
Yes. So I mentioned earlier this client around the reporting solution to being a fully operated platform. Um, We have another one which started with us, I would say, quite shy, you know. So they started with a little brick as part of the investor portal saying, okay, maybe we can replace that solution, which is a leader of the industry when it comes to investor portal, but which was built, I guess, in the late 80s. So really kind of a dinosaur, you know.
Yeah.
And they started really like just sharing documents with investors like this. And they saw that yes, there was potential that we were able to implement the solution very fast, to answer their demands very fast, to also develop new features quite fast. And so little by little, they were part of the journey of building this integrated fundraising solution that is our investor portal. So for them, the benefits is really harmonizing, so having a unified platform for all their investors. They connect whatever the strategy is behind. It's also some brings benefits to the industry in general, so typically to their service providers that can access directly the onboarding information of the clients directly through the portal or through APIs.
Okay. Okay.
And generally, for their operations team, it's a lot of time saving and also much more control. So
Yeah.
all in one, the cost was better, and then all the operations are better. So it's a huge benefit for them.
Yeah, yeah, I see, I see. And for example, what's been key to maintaining long-term partnerships while continuously enhancing your product?
So the key, I think, is this partnership approach that allowed us to have open discussions with our client. The challenge is how do you grow the team? How do you scale? And I was just reading before our interview about another fintech that applied this Lean Six Sigma
Yeah.
experience, and I think that's potentially a good way to embrace that, to really build a performing team. We face a lack of talents, a lack of resources, generally, I think worldwide, in the tech industry. The tech industry grows much faster than the pool of talents. So you need to make sure that you can make these talents much more efficient and also happy in what they do. And for that, what we see as well is the emergence of AI that we will be using for our clients to get directly
Hmm.
support into the tool, so that instead of spending a lot of time into supporting our clients, our team can spend more added value on enhancing the product and fixing critical issues. And so that's where we see also some key benefits.
Yeah, basically this is the future, right?
Definitely.
Right. So looking at the broader industry now, what key trends are you seeing emerge?
So there is one key trend that we've been talking now for a few years. It's retailization. What does that mean in our industry? Retailization means more volumes of investors, and so how to deal with that. Technology has to be sufficiently flexible to not become like real time like we would see on the public market, but still. We see also that I mentioned the emergence of AI as a benefit when it comes to making the team more efficient. This is something that we also see as kind of a competition. So I remember a year ago discussing with a prospective client who was like, yeah, okay, so the platform looks interesting. We are launching a project. And 6 months later, I was like, okay, we just stop everything and now we are looking at what AI can do for us.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, you cannot have AI alone. You need AI with data. And
Right.
to have data, you need to have kind of a structured platform. And that's where we see this more as an opportunity than as a threat, because our tool has really been sold as a platform that can facilitate the use of AI at our partners in the future.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. And for example, how do you see AI continuing to transform the alternative investment sector? Because you mentioned this.
Yes, so AI can be present at different steps of the value chain. So I also have the chance of being co-chairing a working group at the Luxembourg Private Equity Association on technology. They also launched an AI lab where we basically analyze what could be the use cases of AI. So we see most of the use cases so far that have been really thought about are on the deal side. So how to source deal, how to execute deals in a better way using AI, potentially screening, doing the initial screening on the different deals to say, okay, this is potentially interesting investment or not. We see it, and especially when it comes to Domos, we see it very useful when it comes to streamlining operations. So AI, we see it really as an assistant that can allow you to run an operation that you don't run on a daily basis, but more on a quarterly or yearly basis.
Yeah,
Um, and that can really do the things for you. And it's super powerful when it comes to analytics and extracting data. So in that context, what we see is our role to really make the data available and consumable, basically, by AI.
okay, okay. So yeah, basically 80% of the work doing AI and 20% of this do HI, so human intelligence, right? So it's compounding.
Yeah. Well, that's how we could see it.
Yeah,
I think it's still 100% of HI as well, where it's more like the time that you were spending on tasks with much lower added value that you can spend on other added value
Mm-hmm.
tasks. So this will grow. For me, this is an opportunity for the industry to keep growing without having to expand the team
Yeah, yeah,
at the
yeah.
same pace. You will. So instead of hiring one guy each time you onboard a new friend, you can maybe keep one until you have onboarded 10,
Right.
and have some people who are also much more committed to their job because they do much more interesting stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for example, what emerging technologies are you most excited about the portfolio management?
But well, we mentioned AI. I think that's really something. If we combine that with workflow and big data, all this kind of stuff, this is where I think we can have really powerful portfolio management solutions. I think as well we need to be open, and there, the world of APIs of connectivity is what's happening today. So being able also to connect and to communicate with different systems.
Yeah. And in your opinion, what do you think most business owners are getting wrong when they're trying to address this specific problem?
I think what's wrong is to minor the change management. To think that, okay, today, while you have a smartphone and you just download an app on a store, embracing technology in a complex world is the same.
Right.
It's means thinking about your processes, thinking about your resources, thinking about how you're going to organize a project over time, how you're going to free resources and make sure that you are mirroring the project team that the software vendor is going to put in place in order to implement successfully your project. So that's really, I think, this how to embrace technology that you need to think before launching the project. Because I saw a few cases where projects are not successful. Generally, it's because they are not prepared. And, you just run into, okay,
Yeah.
I buy these solutions because this is what I need. It might be the case. But in between, this is what I need and this is what will be implemented. There is a little bit of work in terms of
Yeah.
scoping, in terms of teams management and stuff.
Yeah, right. So, what advice would you give to companies looking to embrace AI in financial services?
So the first thing is why do you want to do this? The why is much more important than the how. Once you
Yeah.
have really defined the why, you can think about, okay, how will I do that? And the how means how much, with who, when, and all these questions like defining a project framework. You can do that by your own if you have the own resources. You can have some specialists that will assist you with different level of involvements, and you need also to be realistic in terms of timeline. I see many people who are like, yes, but I want that. And when you ask them, when do you want it live? They say it's for yesterday. Of course, everything is for yesterday, but realistically, when do you need? Is there any constraints? Do you also see like time in the year where you have more like stress situations where you know that end of the year typically your team won't be available at all. So you need to have the first features live before that, and then have a second step. So that's really, and this should really be an open discussion. It's between you and the different solutions on the people you're gonna put around the table to run the project.
Yeah, right. Great, great advices, especially with the why. Why is the most important part.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. That's really the key.
Yeah.
And then from the why, you
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah.
normally get many answers.
Yeah.
I think another thing is about your data readiness. Because if everything is ready, but then you realize, but the data, I have it from different sources, not clean. How do I deal with that? That can significantly delay any project.
Yeah, yeah. And as you wrap up, what's next for Domos? Any exciting developments on the horizon?
So we mentioned AI that we are embracing first as a help desk to our users. Tomorrow it will be a tool for LPs to directly consume the data. And we are also working a lot at streamlining the interactions between our clients, the direct client, the GP, and their service providers. So through workflows and through AI to make it easy for them to use the platform and to have really a platform that can be the core of all the value chain,
Yeah,
present at every step, and being consulted from different angles. So really having a bit of this cube side that you turn, and according to who you are in the value chain, you always find the data that you need. So that's
right,
really
right.
the vision that we have on the Domos of tomorrow.
Interesting, yeah. And for listeners who want to learn more or potentially work with Domos, what's the best way to get in touch?
To work with us, have a look at our website. There is a form that will direct you directly to our HR. And for the same for clients or partners, through our website, you will find everything. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to direct anyone to the right person if it's not me.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much for sharing those insights about you, about the company, and about the whole story. And thank you for this amazing podcast session.
Thank you, Alexander.
Great. See you in the next episode.
Sure.